Lenda Murray with my co-host Alina Popa, and we are on location in Tampa at the New York Pro. And we have a special guest, Rachel Daniels. She is, and she took home at the New York Pro, she is the champion of women's physique. It was her pro debut. And you beat a great lineup here. Amazing. Congratulations. New York Pro champion, women's physique.
Thank you so much. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And what's really amazing is that you were here in Tampa not long ago, competing as an NPC competitor. You went on to the Junior USA, won your class, won the overall in women's physique, and that's how she turned pro, made her pro debut on a large stage like the New York Pro. This is a big show, and so you take home that win. That is so impressive.
Thank you so much.
You must be so thrilled and excited. Like, this is like a huge journey in such a short time. It's really impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just really major, and so we watched prejudging, and then, Alina was telling me a lot about you. And so that evening to sit and I watched you and how precise you are as far as your posing. And they said pose down. Every shot, your physique, you presented your best body parts, best angles to the judges. Very impressive.
Thanks.
So in regards to your posing and your preparation, how did you just bring that all together?
Wow. So I try to be I think a lot of bodybuilders are pretty OCD about things. That's probably what makes us great at what we do in a sport where you have to be precise about details in our preps. But I have a dance background, and one of the things I love about bodybuilding the most is posing. I think getting on stage and being able to translate the passion and the pain and whatever you have in the gym and make it translatable to the audience, that's a very powerful thing to be able to do. So I do put a lot of time, effort, and emphasis in my posing, and my heart as well. So I practice my posing a lot. I actually changed a lot of it. One of my, Kenny Wallach, actually pulled me over at Junior USA's and gave me a session and tweaked some minor things just on my mandatories, and they really just opened me up. And I was just, every night I had tape on the floor and doing all this weird stuff to get it right. But posing means a lot to me, and I think you can say a lot to, like I said, to the audience about who you are as an athlete. And they're there to feel something, Yeah. They don't understand, a lot of them don't understand the journey that we go through alone every day. So if you can make them feel something, that's more than you can ever do by saying, this is what I do at the gym, or this is how hard my diet is.
Yeah. You actually, in regards to that, you actually had, in my opinion, the best posing routine. Also, and we were talking about posing routines versus posing. You mastered your mandatories, and not only that, your posing routine. You told a story. Your moves were very precise. I could tell it was a routine. And then Alina was like, I believe she's just flowing with that. So, but we gave best poser to women bodybuilders. We did not to the women's physique, but the reality is the posing routine that I remember the most was your routine.
Wow. Yeah. I have to say that I like the way you coordinated the poses And then every pose was particularly on a beat, right? On the song that you chose. And not only that, but your face, like the facial expressions were straight on and changing according to the beat or to the feeling of the music. So I have to say that, you know, like you're pretty much a perfectionist, and I enjoyed seeing that.
Thank you.
It was very beautiful.
Yeah.
It was very
It's right
beautiful.
on.
But yeah, walk us a little bit back through your life. Where did you start bodybuilding? How did you get into this?
Oh, well, I've always been an athlete from the time I was a child. My parents were always like, you know, you have a lot of energy, get out and do something. So any type of sports, I started and really found my home at gymnastics when I was little. And I made a really pretty competitive career out of that up until around the time I was 14. I was diagnosed with scoliosis. So that's a curvature of the spine. It depends on everybody's situation.
It was a pretty aggressive case, wasn't
Mine,
it?
yeah. So mine was like a normal person maybe has like a 5-degree curve in their back. Just for perspective, I had a 39-degree curve and a 59-degree
Wow.
curve. So
Wow.
it was really serious, and my doctor told me I probably wouldn't have made it to my 20th birthday if
That's
I
crazy. I get goosebumps.
Yeah,
That's
so it
amazing.
was
It was
wild,
that bad.
especially to hear at 14 when I was very focused on gymnastics, and that just changed my world. It was like, you're done with gymnastics, you're getting a major surgery, and you're gonna literally learn how to walk again from the ground up, literally. So that's where we started. And then I transitioned to dance because after I healed and everything, I still wanted to move, and that was kind of the closest thing I could find to gymnastics, and I really felt at home in that. And but then I went to boxing for a little bit, and then I just started weight training. I had some events in my life that happened, and I was at the point in my life where I was just really broken, and I was ready to recreate who I was, and I told myself I wanted to be the strongest woman that I knew. And I didn't really have a plan when I went in the gym. I didn't say I'm gonna go do a bodybuilding show or be a bodybuilder. I didn't know anything about bodybuilding.
So this was way past your surgery, right?
Right.
Did it take you a long time to heal from that surgery? It was major, right?
Right. Yeah. So they say it takes about a year for you to start getting back to normal. But I got that surgery in July, when I was 14 in the summer of July, and then I was back at my first day of high school by August, the end of August. So I didn't want to miss school, and I showed up. I healed really quickly. I did everything, the doctors told me to do. My mom our routine every day would be to do 3 laps or walking around the outside of the pool, and she would stand with me, and we would walk together. And sometimes it took us an hour to walk around the pool just 3 times, but we did it every day. And
It's cool.
then I started running, and
You healed.
jumping
This is what's
dancing.
amazing, right?
So yeah, it's a long recovery, but I'm thankfully, God bless, I'm fully recovered, and I've had no issues since, and it
That's great.
hasn't limited me as a bodybuilder. Which is
It doesn't limit you as a bodybuilder, right?
No.
It was obvious it did not limit her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, you were mentioning that actually you want to have a bigger back and a stronger back to actually support your spine.
Right.
It's actually going to heal in this situation as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, well, maybe you shouldn't train your back. Like, maybe that's dangerous. I'm like, well, if I'm strengthening the muscles around supporting my spine,
That's right.
It's actually more beneficial than probably what they're doing.
So you were just
Absolutely.
mentioning that actually we're going through some low times in your life, and that's the moment when you started literally bodybuilding and you redefined yourself. You said, I want to do this, and I want to be the best version of a strong, muscular woman I can be, right?
Yes. So I was my whole life I was always I was always very outgoing. I had a big personality, but I also was very cocky, and I really wanted a lot of credit for things that I hadn't earned yet. I didn't have any sense of discipline and patience, and I put myself in a lot of situations that made me exposed or vulnerable to bad things happening to me. I don't know if I did that on purpose, subconsciously or not, maybe. But I ended up in a abusive relationship, both physically and emotionally, which equally are, you know, as bad as one another. And really, there was one night where I got hit by this guy, and I got out of there, and something clicked in my head, and I said, you know, this isn't you. Like, you're meant for more than this. Get out. And I did. I left. I left that night, and I had to go to court and do a lot of stuff to keep this person away from me. But I still remember the day I left the courthouse. I went to the gym. I got a gym membership at a gym near my house, and like I said, I didn't have a plan. I just wanted to start putting the plan in action that I was gonna do things on my own, and no one was gonna be able to say they did it for me, and I'm gonna start earning things. Any credit I get is gonna be because I earned it, and I'm gonna make myself be able to be alone and be happy alone, because I think that's what true independence is. And you know, I was like, maybe I can find this through the weights. So thankfully I did, but that's where it kind of started.
Wow. Pretty much gave you a lot of discipline, right?
Yeah, I made it a point to force myself to be alone and work hard and not accept help, but yeah, pretty much not accept help until the point where I was confident that I did find happiness with nobody else.
Yes, I love that. I love what you said about that. You know, just being independent and not looking for learning to love yourself and not really looking for that outside of self.
Right.
You know?
How was your experience as a bodybuilder within the society and the people close to you?
One of the ways I even looked into doing a show was because I had bodybuilders at the same gym come up to me and ask me, like, when's your show? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was really small then. I'm assuming they were talking about bikini, because that was the days where I started. But so I had a lot of positive feedback from people on that end saying, you know, you have a lot of potential, you should give it a shot. But also, you know, you notice when you start changing your life and you start making routines and you go to the gym and you're not going to the bar and you're not, certain people start, they hate on you. They say, well, why are you doing this? Like, why are you dieting? Like, why are you you can't eat with us? You can't,
right?
They're eating their food and saying, it's like, look, this is just what I'm doing. And eventually those people start, you know, the universe has a way of just eliminating those people from your life.
Yep.
And at first it's like you think, well, maybe I am doing something wrong, or maybe I'm doing too much or being selfish. But then if you stick with it, I started to realize that, you know, those people were just meant for a chapter in my book and not the entire book. You know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I continued to walk alone. And I do continue to walk alone, and the people that are meant to be in my life are the people that my bodybuilding hasn't phased them in any negative way, and they've remained supportive. And I wished all those other people who left the best.
Yes. Wow.
That's when I feel that the environment, the supportive environment is very important. Like, you know, if you're preparing for a show and you train in a hardcore gym where everybody knows you and everybody's an athlete, or a lot of the people are athletes, they're going to be supportive and they put their energy towards your success as well, right?
Yes, they will.
How about your family or your partner? Did they support you?
So, I didn't really have a partner at all since I became a bodybuilder in that way, a romantic partner. But my family has always been extremely supportive since the day I was born. I was adopted, so the moment I was put into their arms, they've supported me in anything I wanted to do. My dad and mom have always told me, you can be whatever you want to be. Just try to be the best at it and treat others the way you want to be treated while you're doing it. So that's sort of, I'm blessed in that way, because a lot of people, I've heard so many stories, just they don't have that sort of support. And it's very important. I know how important it is, and I know how much it's done for me to have it. So I can't even imagine how much internal strength and self-love and awareness of your environment and surroundings that takes for people who don't have it.
Not only that, but I feel like sometimes it can actually be counterproductive. We were just having a little chat before, and we were saying when you're boyfriend or your husband or whoever is around you starts to, as you said, hate on you and doesn't support you and actually tries to discourage you,
That's right.
it actually is going to bring you to the brink of just giving everything up, right?
Right.
So, because we see a lot of that nowadays, right, in the society, a lot of those girls. And I know that you are out there on social media, and I saw you addressing a couple of posts to these particular girls who feel like they don't have, not only do they don't have the support, but they actually get discouraged and turned away from lifting weights and being athletic, right? So I know that you made a sort of a call for action, right, to the girls that would be in that same situation. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So, yeah, that really touched my heart because I mean, obviously people can say whatever they want on the internet. Really, it doesn't bother me personally. Like any comments I get on the internet, the only people that affect me are, people in my close circle, and they all meet me with nothing but love. So all these, all these hateful comments on women bodybuilders and things like that, they don't bother me necessarily. But what really does bother me is seeing the effects it has on other women. And it's not a horrible thing that they let it bother them. Everybody is different, but not even just the people on the internet. What's even worse, to take it a step further, like you said, is seeing the people that are close to those people,
Yes.
closest to their hearts, like behind their walls, not being supportive and being those sources of hate. And sometimes those people don't even realize they're doing it.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's just a societal misunderstanding of what female bodybuilding is, or this hard structure we've predisposed our minds to about hating androgyny, the idea of androgyny, and boys are masculine and girls are feminine, and we can't be both, and we can. And it's talking a lot of these girls out of even, first of all, starting bodybuilding,
Yes.
moving up categories.
Yes.
And then I've seen the worst of the worst where they give up altogether because it's not what their partner wants. And
Right.
How do you explain to that person if that person is doing that to you, that's not your partner.
That's not your partner.
Yeah.
And I love this, what you're talking about, a call to action. First of all, when you were on stage and Shannon interviewed you, what I recognize is that you refer to yourself as a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And I love that. And she said bodybuilder, as if, at some points, and all of the women in different divisions, they like to make it real clear, like, oh, I'm a bikini competitor, or I'm a fitness competitor. And we understand, what that means. But the reality is our industry, when you're weight training, or when you're resistance training, push-ups, chin-ups, you are training your body. You're building your body. If you are concerned with your entire body,
Right.
you are bodybuilding. If you pick up a basketball, you're not trying to be Michael Jordan. We don't expect you to be Michael Jordan, but you're playing basketball.
Right.
If you train your entire body and you're concerned with your back and your shoulders, and whether you're a man or a woman, you're bodybuilding. And it doesn't mean that you're a competitive bodybuilder. It doesn't mean you stand on the stage, but you were very comfortable with saying that. So that's told me a lot.
Yes.
Just about you, and you were talking about the posing and all of that. But again, talking about the call to action, I think, and what I love about this show, it's centered around women and our message, and you being honest and sharing your story. And there are a lot of women that are out there that watch world champions like Alina and Rachel and Linda and Hella we just had, and they think that when you're having an issue or a situation, when you have the people that surround you and you're in a situation with a boyfriend or a husband, you have to be really conscious of the people that you surround yourself with. And now with social media, the messages and the information that's out there, but we all go through that, and those things that's what really motivates us. You can take it and live your life in a bad place, or you can take it and use it to motivate you to be better.
Right.
And so that's the thing, that we all have those stories, and that we've done that. And so I know our viewers out there, they look and they think, oh, perfect life, you had no problems. Here you've had physical problems. Here, you know, with your, you know,
Right.
with scoliosis, you've had issues in regards to a relationship where a man put his hand on you. And you guys, they're out there going through similar things, and you have a choice. You can live in pain or what's not, or you can take it one day at a time and make things happen as you have and as we have.
I find very, very motivating the fact that actually you reached out to your audience on social media, and you tell them, hey, here's my number. If any of you ladies are in this situation, I can be here. Just, like have a talk, like from a woman to another, you're not the only one, you're not alone. Maybe I can give you some insights, right? This is pretty much what you're doing. And I think that's awesome that you want to share that kind of energy and attitude and your tips to these girls.
It is, and it's like you said, like a lot of people see these, because I did it when I first started. I looked at like these bodybuilders and I'm like, well, they have perfect genetics, so this is easy for them. Lucky them. All that. There's no way they have any sort of relationship problems, or they wouldn't be able to do this.
That's right.
You think, you make up a false reality in your head. And I know there are other girls and guys out there doing the same thing. And I think it's very important for them to know, like, no, a lot of these bodybuilders and a lot of the ones who work the hardest have had the most pain. And I'm not saying I have had more pain or worse situations than any other bodybuilder, but that is why I call myself a bodybuilder, since even when I did bikini, I called myself a bodybuilder. And it was funny back then because I was 105 pounds, calling myself a bodybuilder.
That's right.
But it's because it was my heart,
Yeah.
Didn't have anything to do with what class I was in. And so I did give that out there, and nobody abused it. Like, girls who really needed help and truly didn't have anybody reached out to me. And we would set up times on like WhatsApp or Skype. And sometimes it was at like 4 a.m. and I'm talking to somebody across the world. But it was so cool because even though this person, I realized on the phone, I started the phone call saying, okay, Rachel, you're going to be their rock right now. This is your time to help somebody. But by the end of the phone call, they were helping me because I was like, wow, you're showing me that you're another person across the world that I've never met in a different environment, different surroundings. And the one thing we have in common is our love for iron and our inner strength. And by the end of the phone call, we're both stronger women. And I might never talk to you ever again. And it's like the beauty and just that click of hanging up is like, we had that moment and we helped each other in the chapter we were supposed to be in each other's lives. And that's like why #Iron Sisters on everything. And I hug all the girls backstage because
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's important. It's really powerful.
Ladies of Iron, women of iron.
Yes, our Iron Sisters.
Our Iron Sisters. And so, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So much. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for 2020 and all that, all these new and exciting, incredible athletes. So guys, from Alina Popa Lenda Murray and our New York Pro champion going to the Olympia, Rachel Daniels. See you at the next episode.